Today on the MrMaple Show podcast, Matt and Tim count down number 75 through 51, the holy grail of Japanese maple.
Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the MrMaple Show. Today we're going to be talking about some of the holy grail Japanese maples. We got the full Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom going on. We're going in the search of the holy grail Japanese maples. We really didn't rate these as much on merit, although there are a lot of these that are upgrades. They're kind of like the pinnacle type maples for collectors. So we're going through this whole list. We're going to do 75 to 1. So it's going to be three-parter here. We're going through the holy grails, though. These are trees that kind of exemplify that collector mentality, what the collector's looking for. A lot of people have been searching for these for years for their garden.
That's Matt. I'm Tim. We're brothers. We're the guys who own and run MrMaple.com. We're a family mail order business. We ship directly to your door, and we do the largest selection of Japanese maples in the country. Guys, we do over 1,000 varieties of Japanese maples, really like 1,400, 1,500. So one of the largest selections in the world. We love them. We're passionate about them. Both former presidents of the Maple Society here. We travel the world, and this is what we love. This is what we do. And if you love Japanese maples like us, make sure you find us on your favorite podcast platform. Give us a 5-star rating. Subscribe there, but also check us out on YouTube, The MrMaple Show. We put out daily video content all about Japanese maples. It's the nonstop Japanese maple talk show. Check it out.
And if you really like us, if you really, really like us, you can shop on MrMaple.com. We do ship anywhere in the United States. So let's get into this list, guys. We've got a phenomenal list for you. These are holy grail Japanese maples. These are trees that kind of change the game for collectors. These are trees that have traits that make collectors go, I have to have that in my garden for one reason or another. They're all the way down to 75, but a lot of these are going to be trees that kind of, were sought after. Tim and I went in search of these for years. Some of these we named, but some of these we went in search of. Like, this really exists. Let's go find it.
Yeah, number 75 is Acer palmatum English lace. This is a tree that Matt and I heard about at a Maple Society meeting. Jerry Childs and his brother had found this as a chance seedling from Sumanagashi. It is an more upright lace leaf, vigorous. It gets some of the vigor from Sumanagashi. I mean, everyone knows that Sumanagashi gets out there fast, grows well, strong tree. English lace does that as well. We often say that this is a more upright lace leaf. It's the most upright red lace leaf I've seen. We've grown garnet towers. We've grown all the supposed red upright lace leaves, and this is the closest thing to that holy grail tree all the nurserymen are searching after.
Even with that said, we still recommend staking it when it's young, but it does arch upward. Like, all the branching wants to arch upward and make a really good sized tree. Jerry Childs actually helped us, got with us early on to help evaluate this one. So we were sent 2 different forms of English lace, 1 and 2, and the best of those became English lace. So pretty cool. When I visited Peter Gregory in England, he had an English lace. Englishman had to have him one. He had actually one in a container there at his apartment. He had downsized and only had a few plants around his landscape, but English lace was one of those, which was pretty cool to see. This one, an interesting upright. So one of the last ones Peter kind of evaluated too.
Yeah, and this tree originated in Quilcene, Washington. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a pretty unusual upright tree. I always recommend staking at an early age, point it upwards, let it go up, and then over time it will sort of give a slight cascade to it. Gives a real beautiful effect. We actually have a full cultivar breakdown on this on the MrMaple Show, so you can actually see a large specimen out in the landscape and sort of see how it has that sort of upright habit that makes it stand out from the other lace leaves.
Open, airy, very nice. For me, it's the best red upright. I mean, it is actually upright. I definitely recommend staking it to make sure you're getting the growth going up at first, but it really develops into a nice tree, especially if you get some height to it and then let it kind of get the width. Really an amazing plant.
Now, it greens up a little bit in the summer, but gives you good red fall color. That cherry red to deep maroon in the spring and late spring is amazing out there. The best red upright lace leaf you can imagine.
All right, guys, coming in here at number 74. This was kind of the holy grail when we were getting into it. Like, when we were first getting into maples, I remember people telling me the legend of this tree, right? Next is Acer palmatum bihou. It's a yellow, we kind of throw it in that coral bark family, but it's definitely a bright yellow bark form from Japan. I know Fred Hooks and Don Shadow were kind of instrumental in getting this one in the United States early on. It was one of those trees in Japan people had heard about, but it was kind of like a legend. It was like, there's a tree in Japan with neon yellow bark, and bihou kind of changed the game in that regard.
And I've heard people who speak Japanese pronounce it bihou. I've also heard people who speak Japanese pronounce it bihou.
Bijou. I've seen people say bijou too.
Bijou, but I think that's wrong.
Yeah, I
think that's just wrong. Bihou, though, is an amazing tree. It gives you that yellow bark interest that everybody wanted on a coral bark Japanese maple, but intensely bright yellow, neon yellow. So it gives you some of that yellow interest that I love in the garden, that contrasts with everything in those winter months when things are drab. Guys, this makes an amazing tree to put out there and pair out there with your coral barks, because you have a similar structure, similar spring, summer, fall interest, but then in the winter, you've got yellow that plays off your traditional coral bark.
How is this thing so yellow? I love it. It is amazing. You want to put this one in a drier zone. So not for the zone 5, it's more zone 6 and up. You want to put this one in a place where it's got really good drainage, especially in the winter months. It doesn't like cold and wet winters, so you don't want this one soggy and wet all the time.
Plant it on a hill.
Yeah, it actually really thrives in a lot of hotter zones. Like you see this one kind of in some of the drier, hotter spots really thriving. I absolutely love it. There's a beautiful specimen listed at Rouseman. We've done a cultivar breakdown on as well at the JC Ralston. All around, just a phenomenal plant that really changes everything. I absolutely love this one in the fall when you get into the golden yellow fall color and it matches the bark. I think that's one of the more extravagant times, but it really brought a lot to what coral barks could do. I mean, it's the most yellow coral bark, still one of the best contrasts with the most classic Sengokaku. So game changer, holy grail there for sure.
Guys, coming in at number 73, we have Acer palmatum hupps dwarf. This was a chance seedling that was found by Barbara Hupp. They grew a lot of Christmas trees. In fact, her son, Jason Hupp, grows conifers now, which is pretty cool. But hupps dwarf was essentially found by Barbara Hupp, but really introduced into the trade a lot by J.D. Veritrees. She sent one of the original hupps dwarfs and some of the original cuttings to J.D. Veritrees, and he got it onto the trade from there. So it's almost like hupps dwarf is another, well, he didn't find it. It's almost like another Veritrees introduction there as well. Really cool mikawa-like tree with those twisting dark green leaves.
I do find this one prefers more shade than mikawa, so get in a shadier spot in the landscape. Absolutely amazing plant, though. Really changed the game. Great container plant, especially for a shady spot in the garden. Kind of gives you a whole new variant. One of the very first I would consider mikawa variants that kind of got out there, too. So it's similar to mikawa, but a lot different in the leaf shape and everything else. Do recommend shade for this one, but change the game, hupps dwarf.
Guys, coming to number 72, we have a sport that happened on the cultivar geisha. Geisha is this small, compact, pink Japanese maple, and this sport came up that was more vigorous and more stable and a better tree for people out there in the landscape. So it's a bigger pink tree out there in the garden. We're talking about geisha gone wild. This is a tree that was found by Talon Buchholz, and to me, this was a game changer, and it's a holy grail because you literally get a pink tree out there in the garden.
Yeah, I would say this one's fun because it's an improvement on geisha. Like, it actually is a better plant than geisha. It's more durable, more sun tolerant, better shape, better grower. Geisha's unique. It's very white. It needs a little bit more shade. Geisha gone wild tends to be a better overall plant for a grower. I mean, it's really unique. And those color patterns are still some of the most striking. So it's still heavily sought after. This tree's been around maybe 20 years now, but it's still a grail for a lot of people in their garden. I mean, this is a tree that it really brings it. When people look at that high drama pink interest, especially that pink on red in the early spring, Geisha gone wild is one of those quintessential plants. I do find it to be very similar to Shiraz. The two originated separately. Geisha gone wild being from Oregon with Talon Buchholz, Shiraz being from New Zealand. Both are sports off of geisha. I find when you grow them side by side, they're very similar, to be honest with you. But great plant. I like Geisha gone wild a lot. Really unique in the landscape. And I think it's still one of those grails today. I mean, when we get here in the spring and people are looking for peak spring pink colors, Geisha gone wild's hard to beat.
Anybody who comes to the nursery in the springtime and sees that pink color, it's amazing. The fall color is almost just as pink red. I mean, it is intense, it is beautiful, and it gives you a color out there in the garden that people just, it's hard to believe. It has a unique variegation where you have pink margin on the outside with red on the interior, and then during the late summer, you actually start to get cream on the outside and then a dark green on the inside. And there's a mottled mid-tone late spring, early summer, where you have all 4 colors in the leaf at the same time. And that is possibly one of my favorite times with Geisha Gone Wild.
Great vase shape, looks amazing in the landscape. All right, moving along here, guys. Number 71, we've got Acer sieboldianum kumoi nishiki. Now, this one's weird, guys. This one's one of the few variegated sieboldianums like this. I mean, you get that swirling striping variegation in it. Never had this one revert. I mean, I've even been to Kobayashi Momiji Inn when they brought out their most interesting, shocking thing to show us, and it was kumoi nishiki. And I was still shocked. I already had it, but I still loved it.
It was their holy grail when we went and visited.
Yeah, I mean, that's how important this one is. Really just an all-around amazing plant. You don't see that style of variegation in the larger full moon style leaves. So you don't really see much of that going on. It's a unicorn in itself for its variegation style.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when this first made its way to the United States, shortly, right around 2008, 2009, it started to get into the trade about 2012, 2013. And, we'd go to these large maple gatherings, and it would be the talk that everyone was talking about. Mm-hmm. I mean, someone would bring out a 3-gallon and people would freak out. They would say, holy moly, look at this thing. And it's one of these trees that stands out because it's got that.
I actually heard a few holy mackerels too.
It's one of those trees that just stands out because it has that full moon like leaf, being an Acer sieboldianum. But when you get that pink and white variegation across the leaf, it really makes this sieboldianum stand out from everything else. You just get a speckled variegation that almost reminds you of something on the variegation along the lines of something like snow kitten, but different because it is a sieboldianum.
First time I saw it, I said, gee willikers, Batman, this has changed the game. I absolutely love it, though. And people see it now. I guess it still is amazing and still shocking to everybody, but I don't think people realize how revolutionary this one was, especially when it came out. Like, it is so different in style variegation for a sieboldianum. Sieboldianum's been around for forever, mostly green. I mean, there's some variances, but this one just changes it up completely. Absolutely a game changer.
All right, guys, coming in at number 70, we've got a tree that I love that I think is just one of the holy grails of green lace leaves. We're talking about Acer palmatum marielle. Selection found by our good friend Bart Eichelman, named after his wife Marielle, our good friend and former secretary, maybe even current secretary of the Maple Society. Marielle has done a lot to promote maples throughout the years, but this lace leaf in particular, it's beautiful. It's got like this wiry like lace leaf to it, but it also has this beautiful just purple red nails on each and every leaf, and that holds long throughout the season.
Really love it. I mean, this one kind of an upgrade a little bit on Spring Delight. I love Spring Delight, but it does hold longer for us, typically a little bit darker margins. It is the Tsumagaki of green lace leaves. It has that purple border to it. Extremely pendulous. I mean, the shape is very, very weeping. I've seen this one in baskets weeping down low, almost like Orangiola. So it is an extreme weeper as well. Just a showstopper. I mean, this one, once you see it in spring, it's hard to beat it.
Yeah, it's got some good red fall color as well. A real beautiful tree that I fell in love with the second I saw it. And if you're looking for a green lace leaf, this is one of the holy grails of green lace leaves. I mean, it's just got that purple nail to it long throughout the season.
All right, guys, coming here at number 69, we've got Acer palmatum nanat. Now, this is an introduction by Bob Baltzer. He was a mentor to Talon Buckholtz. I remember we went out and visited Bob Baltzer when he was alive. Such an interesting guy. He had trees from the Henderson Research Center. It's like you're reaching back in a time with some of these guys. You go and meet them, and their reach from when they started, it's like you feel like you're right there at the pioneership of maples, right? And that's what it felt like meeting Bob Baltzer. He was one of those guys, he had one of the first grafts of Orangiola in his garden. You're like, wow, one of the first grafts of Orangiola. It was literally like the first graft of Orangiola. Pretty cool, really neat guy. And Tim and I love to ask people, what did you introduce? Bob had introduced Alpenweiss and a few other introductions. What do you wish you'd introduced? And that's always a good question to ask some of these older nurserymen. He said, let me show you something. So we made our way through a patch of trees, kind of parted the ways. Let me show you my little hidden area back here. We walked back to this big, like 20-gallon, low-growing specimen, and it was nanat. And we were instantly enthralled. Had a lot of growth like shishigashira, had a lot of bark like aoyagi. So Tim and I were in right away. So I'll get you some sign on this. The name's funny. His wife, Nancy, and yatsubusa are kind of how you get this conglomerate here of nanat. But an awesome plant. And I'm a big believer in nurserymen get to name it whatever they want. They found it. And so Bob named this one nanat. It is the perfect pairing of shishigashira with aoyagi, though. I love what this one brings to the game.
Yeah, I mean, it is beautiful. It gives you that just amazing like yellow-green bark that you get out of aoyagi, and it gives you that leaf like shishigashira. It gives you fall color like aoyagi. You get this bright yellow fall color, which stands out in any fall garden. It's got a denser, compact form, although it can be more vigorous at an early age. So if you see a 1 gallon, it may grow out a little vigorously. It gets dense and compact with.
Tends to want to globe out. Tends to make more of a globe shape. We like this tree so much. He sent this to us, and at the same time he sent this tree to us, he sent trees to his other apprentice, which is Talon Buckholtz. So he sent Talon Sonwood on this. We like the tree so much. We bought out Talon's stock plant from him, so it's actually in my garden now. The tree he grafted from Bob. That tree is a big tree now. It's like 7 by 7, and it's just a perfect globe. And when that hits its yellow fall color, watch out. I mean, it is literally aoyagi color in the fall, like that golden. Shideva Gold is a sport or a broom off of aoyagi, and it rivals any of those for the yellow. I mean, the yellow is impeccable, but you also get this interesting lime green to yellow bark. It's a little more yellow in the winter months, kind of a paler color, but you get this incredible bark on this tree. If you're a shishigashira collector, if you like shishigashira, if that's one that draws you in, I think nanat is kind of the perfect pairing for that.
Yeah, I agree. Nanat, amazing tree, coming at number 69 on our top Holy Grail Japanese maples. Coming at number 68, we've got Acer shirasawanum Sunny. Now, Sunny is, to me, is a Holy Grail Japanese maple because it is a full moon Japanese maple. It's vigorous. It gives you yellow color out there in the landscape and garden. But guys, this selection has an orange spring color, an orange blush in the early spring, which gives you something like Katsura, but on an Acer shirasawanum. So this is a next level Acer shirasawanum that you're definitely going to love.
Very vigorous. This one gets out there. It's a seedling from Jordan, so it has a very similar growth rate to Jordan. It does look similar to Jordan later in the season, but that orange really separates it. If you can give it early morning sun, the early spring, you can get a lot of what Orange Dream is dreamed to be, right? You get that orange glow to this one. I absolutely love it on that bigger leaf. Sunny gets out there, though. I love that it's a grower. It's a beautiful plant. All around, just amazing plant. Grab you a Sunny.
Guys, coming in at number 67, we've got Acer palmatum Noel. This is a selection that was found and named by our good friend John O'Brien after his dog Noel. Mm-hmm. It's a variegated sport that happened on this red Shindasojo-like tree out in his landscape and garden.
Now, I first saw this at Dennis Dodge's place. Ed Shin got us in touch with the late, great Dennis Dodge. He even came down to a couple of Ed's gatherings. This guy was incredible. He would find everything, back in the day, with limited internet back in the day. I mean, he would find everything in the world and show it to me. He kind of played loose with the idea this one was from Europe with me a little bit. He showed me Noel, but he didn't want to tell me where it was from because it was right down the road. I did find it, obviously, by our good friend John O'Brien later, and it made a lot of sense. But he was kind of a little reluctant to give us all the origins on this one right away. But when I saw this one at Dennis Dodge's, man, I was like, what the heck? Variegated DeSojo, Shindasojo style. You get that pink swirling on everything you like about DeSojo, and a little more stable. Like DeSojo does that a lot, and Shindasojo, you get some flake and you get some variegation in them. But when they stabilize, you've got a whole nother thing.
You mentioned Dennis Dodge knew where everything was, and he rarely left his house. So one time he started showing me photos of a tree I had that I didn't think I'd shared that I had on my computer. I'm like, how did this guy get this photo? What in the world?
He's like, this one guy in Germany in this one room has this one Skydopotis. If you go there, like, wow,
it's some
cool
crazy
guy,
stuff.
I really always enjoyed our visits. The fun thing about going and visiting Dennis Dodge, we were nurserymen too, and so he knew we did mail order. At the time, he had Bethlehem Nursery, and he was really famous for Skydopotis. He was Mr. Skydopotis, had every Skydopotis on the planet. And what was so fun at visiting him is I never really got to pick out what I wanted to shop for. So when I went there were some things I wanted, right? He had a lot of Holy Grail items at his place. I would bring, me and Tim would show up and we'd have a little crate, and we would bring him about 5 or 6 things, and we would leave with 5 or 6 things. But we didn't really get to go in and go, I want that. He wasn't big on that with other nurserymen, but if you brought him some great stuff, you left with some great stuff. And I always felt like we left with just absolute gems from him.
All right, guys, coming at number 66, we have Acer palmatum verkades jacus potus. This is a beautiful sessilifolium selection found by Dave Verkade, named after his daughter, Jacqueline, whose nickname was Jacus potus.
Crazy plant. Similar region. We were at a Ed Shin get-together. Dave was there selling trees, and this was back when Matt and Tim were in the tailgate markets, and we were selling everything we could to drive around and find trees. So we were pretty broke. And I remember he was selling liners of this for $150. But Dave really liked me and Tim. We could tell. It was the first time we met him. And he was like, these young guys got some spunk. I like these guys. They're kind of crazy like I'm crazy. We kind of bonded a little bit. So we waited around to the end of the day. And Tim was he was a younger guy back then. You were probably like 21, 20. And I was like, I'm going to send my little brother in at the very end and see if he'll let us buy one. So we bought one for a little graft. It was it was probably about 4 or 5 inches tall. It was very small. We bought one from him for $75. And a lot of them got into the trade through that. Like we really got that one around town. A lot of different people started getting bigger nurseries. Really changed the game for that sessilifolium. Tim's always been a huge fan of that angel feather, Hagoromo, Koshimino style leaf. And this one was just such a unique tree for color. I mean, it really was one of the first ones that got out there that was strikingly different. Pinks, apricots in the spring. So much going on with this one. Still have that original tree in Mom and Dad's garden. Absolutely love it. And it was a holy grail. It rode back. You probably heard us tell a story, but it rode back in the cup holder. And I think Mike Wilson and Richard Bomar made fun of us the whole time because anytime somebody got out of the car, we're like, hey, watch out. Don't get around now. We've got it here in the cup holder. Get away from my liner. You're not touching my jacus spots. Don't break the tree. Don't put your cup in the way. We got that thing back and we just doctored it and got it going. Got a little sign off at one year. Got a little sign off the next year. So for us, that was one of our holy grails for sure.
Yeah, and those sessilifolium leaf structures are very unique. Each leaf has 5 to 7 lobes like a typical Japanese maple leaf, but each lobe has its own leaf stem, its leaf stalk, and so it looks like each lobe is its own leaf, and so it gives a really delicate feel out there in the landscape. So it's very unique and different, and it's one of those master gardener stump plants that if someone saw it, they wouldn't first think it's a Japanese maple because it gives you this unique, very soft, feather-like appearance that really makes these types stand out. And with the colors that verkades jacus potus has, it's simply amazing.
All right, guys, here at number 65, we've got Acer palmatum Sweet Lorraine. Now, I don't know if you throw this one into Dissectum Sweet Lorraine or if it's just heavy Matsumuri. Probably lean more toward heavy Matsumuri on this one than truly a lace leaf. It is super unique. It has a lace leaf style, heavily divided Matsumuri leaf with reticulation like a ghost. Absolutely next level. I mean, this one just glows. Slow grower. I mean, it's like a 3x3 in 10 years. Doesn't get out there quick, but the colors on this one are nuts. Another Talon Buchholz introduction from the Flora Wonder collection. But I know we first saw this, we were all about it, and really next level.
Yeah, I remember going through Talon's Rising Star seedlings when I'd go visit, and I'd just walk through and just look. And I saw something that looked similar to Sweet Lorraine. Mm-hmm. And I went to him and begged him and begged him and begged him to either sell it to me or graft it and get into the trade. Now, I don't know if it became Sweet Lorraine or if that's some of the seedlings that became like Green Lantern and stuff that we got.
According to the Flora Wonder when it predated that, but I've often wondered that myself.
The colors on Sweet Lorraine are unlike any of the other colors you see on a reticulated lace leaf. Filigree is the other lace leaf out there that's reticulated. You get a green with some cream in there. Sweet Lorraine gives you some of those just sort of pink reds out there that's just amazing in the early spring.
It's almost like a strawberry spring with some purple in it as a lace leaf.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild. It's a great container plant. If you're looking for a shade garden, small container plant, this one just fits the bill so perfect.
And you see the intricacies with the veins being one color and the rest of the leaf being more of that intense sort of just pink red. It is a slow growing lace leaf. Will need some protection from the hot afternoon sun. Talon said later that when he dug around and found the original Sweet Lorraine and looked through the pot, that it was a chance seedling from Amber Ghost, which is pretty cool. That Amber Ghost, which is so upright, could throw
a sister seedling to something like Bloody Talons. Even.
A sister seedling to something Bloody Talons.
Absolutely weirdo. I love it. It tends to grow in my garden a little bit more toadstoolish than lace leaf. Like it tends to look a little bit more Kiyohime type shape for me. So pretty cool in how it grows, low and spreading. Just an absolute game changer, though.
All right, guys, coming in number 64, we've got Acer sieboldianum seki no kegon. I got a Maple Society newsletter one time, and they'll have some write-ups about some really cool trees. And I saw this write-up from Japan about this sieboldianum that was found in the wild in Nikko National Park and was over 100 years old, and it had the strong weeping habit. And I was like, that is amazing. This is just this cool, wild, collected cultivar from Japan that has this strong weeping habit and those sieboldianum leaves. So you've got that full moon-like leaf. That's amazing. And guys, we were able to get it before it was released in Japan. So To me, that's just one of the holy grails. I mean, it is so unique and special.
We've got a big one at Mom and Dad's garden. At Maplewood Gardens, there's a huge one. Develops a nice sized trunk and just spreads out, makes that cascading umbrella. Really a next level plant. I mean, I'm so enthralled with this one. One of the few weeping sieboldianums, truly, and it has that pendulous nature to it. I like to stake it up, let it get wide, let it put on a lot of those almost like, reminds me a little bit sometimes of Jermaine's gyration and how you get the growth, because you get these wild branches coming off of it. My kids actually get up under this tree like an umbrella now. It's where the fairy garden has moved to. So my mom lets them play under this. This is their go-to hideout in my mom's garden. There's 300-400 trees at mom's, but the seki no kegon, that's the big tent. They go right to that one. They get up under there. It's got a lot of high branches, but they can kind of get around there and play. They take all their fairy garden little figures and go play under that. And so that's the hideout. Love seki no kegon though. If you've got space for it, does get a little wider than we initially thought. Love that about it though. Beautiful plant. Typically something like 6 feet tall, 6 feet wide in a 10-year span. Really a showstopper. Bold reds in the fall. I've had golden oranges too. I mean, I've had bold reds late, golden oranges with yellow splashed in it early. Next level plant. Seki no kegon really changed the game for us because that weeping characteristic on a full moon, sieboldianum, we throw that into that full moon kind of shirasawanum, japonicum style grouping. Really cool leaf shape.
Guys, next up, coming at number 63, we've got ramona. Now, ramona is one of those trees that in the springtime gives you a little bit of a coral color in the spring. And to be honest with you, late spring, early summer, it's a green Japanese maple out there. Where this tree shines is that summer interest. Mm-hmm. It's a late summer, midsummer to early fall Japanese maple that just makes that garden pop. And everyone's been searching for summer interest Japanese maples. There's not a lot of summer interest Japanese maples out there where they peak and just show like almost spring-like colors in the summer. And ramona does that. Those green leaves that, were out there in the spring and early summer turn to almost like a yellow, almost something like Orange Dream looks like in the early spring. But then the new growth that starts happening in the summer at the exact same time is a coral over top of that yellow-green color. I mean, it is amazing and one of the most shocking summer interest Japanese maples I've ever seen.
We're filming this in September, and right now they are yellow with pink new growth, amazing colors, and really stand out for that late summer interest. I think it really is one of those trees that brings a lot to the garden late in the season. More ruffled leaf than Orange Dream as well, which I really like, and a smaller stature. I mean, this one's more like that 5 to 6 footer, more of a small pyramidal shape. Makes a great pairing with something like that geisha gone wild for late summer interest. Really love this plant. Great for the container garden. I do think you're going to want to give it some late day shade in your hotter zones to kind of protect it. But if you can give this tree early morning sun, you'll be so shocked by that new growth. I mean, it absolutely glows late into the season.
Guys, coming number 62, we've got a Talon Buchholz introduction. We're talking about Acer palmatum Strawberry Spring. This is a reticulated selection that changed the game on the pink color. I mean, there's nothing else that's this shade of just baby pink out there in the garden.
Yeah, if he'd have called it Pink Ghost, I don't know if it would have been more popular, but it'd been maybe. I mean, maybe the Purple Ghost, Pink Ghost comparison. I love this one. It's amazing. Bright colors. Again, we have a full cultivar breakdown on this with a large specimen on our YouTube channel. So go Google MrMaple Show Strawberry Spring or go put it in YouTube if you want to see a really nice specimen of this. Glows. Starts out the gate glowing, glows all season long. Surprisingly sun tolerant. Going to work zones 5 through 9. Really just a showstopper of a plant. I love that color. This one, and we always talk a lot about Celebration. I'm sure we'll bring it up some more later. But this one, Celebration, Guy Merlot says, could be Talon's best introductions ever. And that's high praise from someone on that level. Absolutely love it.
Now, Strawberry Spring puts on that amazing baby pink color in the early spring. And then after that, it goes to a cream with lime green veins, which is amazing out there in the landscape and garden as well. It's just a game changer on that spring color, though. And it is the color that everyone's always wanted out of a pink reticulated Japanese maple.
My favorite pairing with this is the original peaches and cream. So you get the Strawberry Spring with the peaches and cream. That sounds like good dessert right there. All right, coming in here at number 61, we've got Acer laevigatum Hong Long.
Now, Hong Long is a selection that was not intended originally to be a cultivar. It was a wild collection from Mark Wethington at the J.C. Rouse and Arboretum.
I think that's the foreign exchange student in 16 Candles, isn't it? Keep going.
And then he started looking through those seedlings, and one of them had red, like purple red new growth and purple bark. And he said, guys, y'all should graft this. So we started grafting it. And we're like, this is really cool. And so we put the working name of Mark Wethington on it and said, Mark, you need to put a name on this. You found this. If you don't, we're going to put it out as Mark Wethington. So eventually he released it through the J.C. Rouston as Hong Long. And it's been very popular ever since.
This thing has purple bark, translucent foliage. I mean, it is one of those trees, like pewter, like the Stewartia, a pseudocamellia pewter we brag on all the time. This one has that like blue-green weird color, especially on the older growth. For us here at Mr. Maple, it drops all of its leaves. In hotter zones, it is semi-deciduous to holding its foliage. So sometimes you'll have differing levels of deciduousness with this one. We tend to get it completely deciduous here in zone 6. Some people in zone 8, it never drops leaf. It just kind of continues to drop leaf throughout the year, almost like a magnolia. Really amazing color. The new growth, the brightest purple. The older growth, blue-green, shiny. I mean, I was out here last night. I came down here late, right before dark, and I was up in house 25, and I was just enamored with how glowing these things were right at dusk. There was a whole set of them. The new growth's purple, and the growth behind it almost sheens. Like, it almost has this glow to it. Like, everything else, it kind of got into that twilight time right before dusk, and everything else had kind of darkened up. But I almost felt like these things were reflecting light. They were so bright.
Now, you may say, yeah, you've got a purple new growth, a semi-evergreen maple. It looks like a laurel. Why is this on the Holy Grail list? Well, Acer laevigatum is proven to be fairly cold tolerant. It's from the higher regions in China and some of out there in Asia, and it's one of those trees that can thrive and do well in a lot of people's gardens. It's Acer laevigatum has been the holy grail when it comes to a lot of those semi-evergreen to evergreen maples because it is more cold tolerant. It's less finicky in those colder zones than some of the other more tropical like maples that are out there. It is beautiful. It's easy to grow. The one thing we've learned about with Hong Long, though, is it needs some protection from the hot afternoon sun. If you grow it in a slightly shaded area, morning sun, that'd be great. Afternoon shade, like a high shade canopy with dappled light is fantastic as well. Give it some shade, but this tree can go in those colder zones, and you can enjoy this very tropical like maple.
Yeah, this one is very heat tolerant too, so it can go in the hotter spots. It just doesn't love a lot of late day sun, so make sure you give it a little bit more shade for those peak heats. But it's very drought resistant and very heat resistant, so it's a very durable plant in zones 8 and 9. You just got to give it a little bit more shade. Really a showstopper for the colors, though. Absolutely interesting. Grafted on palmatum, so closely related to everything else we're talking about here today. And yeah, the colors on that got to be on my Holy Grail list. Nothing else like that.
All right, coming to number 60, we've got Acer palmatum Scarlet Princess. Everybody for years have been trying to grow baby lace. And while baby lace is very beautiful, it's very difficult to keep alive. It's proven to be a little finicky at times.
A little?
And it's very beautiful, but it needs good drainage. It needs greenhouses, really, cold frames to be able to winter it. And
the Akon song, She's Only Gonna Break Your Heart. That's what I want to play every time. Every time somebody starts talking about Taylor and baby lace, I'm like, she's only gonna break. Anyway, it's gonna break your heart. Brian even messed with me in Oklahoma. He's like, look at this baby lace. Like, dude, don't get too attached. Scarlet Princess, a broom on a lace leaf that's actually more durable. I still think it's a little more zone 6 than zone 5. I don't think it loves that extreme zone 5. This one, though, way more durable than most of your brooms on lace leaves and way more colorful.
Yeah, I mean, it's really beautiful and gives you that lace leaf-like leaf, but with a more rounded weeping habit. It's very different than what you find with many other lace leaves. Very similar habit to baby lace, but it is very different than what you think of a typical lace leaf because it's a denser, compact lace leaf.
Found out on the East Coast by Tom and Nancy Ash, who are friends of ours. I've seen this one sold as Ash's Scarlet Princess. I got this directly from Tom under the name Scarlet Princess. So we actually paid him $1 a graft the first 2 years we offered this one. It was kind of the gentleman's agreement when he sold us this. So we gave him a gentleman's royalty for the first 2 years we had this in production for Scarlet Princess. But cool plant and kind of arches up a little bit more. I mean, I really like the habit of it. Kind of arches up, then weeps down. It's a broom on Crimson Queen, but it has a lot of different color than Crimson Queen. So there's a lot of genetic difference going on there between this and Crimson Queen. Can handle the sun a good bit too.
Yeah, a little more picked up color on that. And that more scarlet crimson fall color makes this little compact red witch's broom stand out. Again, everybody's after baby lace. I don't know if that's because they've killed it 3 or 4 times and they want to be successful with it.
She's only going to break your heart.
But Scarlet Princess won't break your heart.
All right, guys, coming in here at number 59, we got elwa.
Elwa is named after the Elwa River in Washington. It was found by
the river or the valley?
both.
Yeah, well, maybe it's both.
Found by Bart Eichmann's again, named after a local feature there in Washington. And this is kind of like a dwarf elegance.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. You get all the fall color of elegance, which is crazy in a small spreading stature. We got to do more of this plant. It's one of those ones I always think like I've done enough of it. And I never have done enough of it. Elwa just kind of gets out there and spreads out low. It's not a lace leaf, but it has that Matsumuri leaf. But it definitely mimics elegance for that just crazy fall color. But you get through so many changes: reds, yellows, oranges, almost darker colors in it sometimes.
Often multicolored leaves at the same time. I mean, it is amazing. It is rare. And to me, it is an excellent dwarf for anyone's garden. It's dwarf and one of the best fall color maples I've seen.
All right, coming in here at number 58. Not number 1 on our list, mikawa yatsubusa.
Say what?
It comes in on a lot of our lists. Mikawa, holy grail plant still. I mean, been around for forever. Vertrees helped get this one in the U.S., really helped popularize it. It's been in Japan for a long time. It wasn't on the 1700s list, but it wasn't too long after that it started getting propagated in Japan. Really a cool plant. Mikawa's king for a reason. I mean, mikawa is the quintessential collector plant. If you don't have it in your garden, it's got to be a holy grail plant for you because you got to get a mikawa in your garden. If you don't have a mikawa, I don't know if I consider you a maple collector.
I think if you go around the Facebook groups, everyone will be posting photos of giant mikawas they've seen around, and the reason that is because it is the holy grail. It is a slow growing Japanese maple to put out there in the garden, and when these things start to get big, it is next level. You get something out there that just has these arms out there that are lively. It's great to enjoy as a small plant too. It looks like a little bonsai out there, no matter what shape it is. The tightly layering habit gives it this fluffy appearance that makes it animal or creature-like out there in the garden. It's one of our favorite Japanese maples, but just the mystique around it makes this a holy grail. People who've never seen a Japanese maple before or realize what a Japanese maple is, as soon as they see a mikawa, they have to have it.
If I could only have one Japanese maple, that'd be it. If I was only allowed one ever, like if there was something where I could only have one, I'd probably get a mikawa. Because then I could grow all the seeds off of it and look for variances. But I love mikawa. It's the holy grail. All right. Coming here at number 57, guys, we've got purple velvet.
Now, purple velvet or plum wine could both fit in this group. They are red and they have that shirasawanum leaf. Everyone for a while, looked at things like Shira Red or Red Dawn or Gloria or some of these red Acer shirasawanums. And while they have that shirasawanum trait where they're more cold tolerant than some of the palmatums, they leaf out a little bit later. They're less likely to get frostburn, less likely to get hit with a polar vortex in the winter. They didn't have that traditional shirasawanum leaf. Purple velvet and plum wine both have that Acer shirasawanum leaf that people love, like Arium or Autumn Moon.
I like how you went 57A and B at the same time. We're going to sneak 2 in on you on this one. I do love that. Like this leaf will mimic that of Sunny or that of even Moonrise or Arium. You're going to get that bigger leaf, way more your traditional Acer shirasawanum style. Amazing colors. Now, purple velvet can go through some great color changes too. It's almost more of a like lavender true purple in the early spring. You get this crazy color.
Plum colors.
Yeah, I mean, it's plum amazing. And I love it. Check out these plums. It's an amazing tree, though, in the early spring. You get more of a yellowy orange fall color in it, too, which is pretty neat.
Now, these were found as chance seedlings from Shira Red. The interesting thing behind that is some people looked at Shira Red and said, is that really Acer shirasawanum? Well, often you see in that F2 generation, that generation one down the line, not the first generation you find the red shirasawanum, the second generation right after that one generation after that is what shows you the characteristics of what it hybridized with. And that's what we're seeing with these shirasawanums, purple velvet and plum wine, is that true shirasawanum coming in and that red color.
That's what I'm hoping for all our kids. They're just better off than us, They're just going to be that F2. They got it all together. All right, coming here at 56, we've got Otaha. This one's kind of an improvement on Benihime. It's kind of a little bit more durable. Benihime is a really fun dwarf red. It's kind of got that picked up, almost like Shindasojo like color with yellows going on in the spring. More of that Kiyohime style growth. Otaha tends to be an improvement on that by being a little bit more durable, but still retain a lot of those really desirable characteristics.
Yeah, again, Benihime is one of those trees that people may have killed a few of them. They're more difficult to grow. They're not as difficult as baby lace, but it's a more difficult Japanese maple to grow. Otaha, similar characteristics, but doesn't have as many challenges as Benihime has, but with similar colors and similar habit. And that's what makes Otaha stand out. Just that pink-red color out there in that dense, compact form. It's a beautiful Japanese maple for sure.
All right, guys, coming here at number 55, we've got Acer palmatum Hana Tsukasa coming from Tsukasa Maple Nursery in Japan. We kind of look at this one as the improved Taylor. I mean, a lot of people try to grow Taylor. I find that one to be one of the harder trees to grow in the entire maple world. Beautiful plant. Hana Tsukasa tends to be an improvement on that for that pink butterfly-like sport. A lot of the really hard ones to grow are kind of sports off a butterfly. Hana Tsukasa has a lot of what I like about Taylor and just a little bit more durability to it for sure.
Now in the early spring, Hana Tsukasa leaves out and the entire tree will almost look pink, just like Taylor does in the early spring. And so you get that same unique characteristic, and then the green starts coming into the leaf, and then it looks more butterfly, Benishishihinga-like after that. And so with Hana Tsukasa, seems to be easy to grow, seems to not have as many issues as Taylor does. And again, everyone's tried to grow Taylor, realizes it's not really a good idea to grow Taylor. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's
like Taylor Swift. She's going to leave you too. She's going to write a song making fun of you about it. Taylor's going to do the same thing. You're going to fall in love with Taylor. She's going to break up with you. You're getting the ring back. And then you're going to get a song making fun of you.
Man, after. I feel bad for that Kelsey guy.
Yeah.
But Hana Tsukasa, amazing tree. It gives you everything we love about Taylor, but it doesn't have that dye factor that Taylor has.
That whole dye thing. So, all right, guys, coming here at number 54, we've got tattoo. Now, there are a couple forms of tattoo out there. You don't want bad tattoo. We often called the Kiyohime looking form that got out there a couple years ago. There was some different nurseries selling bad tattoo as tattoo. Tattoo looks like a ruffled dwarf mikawa. I mean, it's a 3 foot tall, 3 foot wide, dwarf compact form of mikawa. Way more ruffled leaf to it. Very durable, great container plant. And if you've seen it growing side by side with mikawa, you'll see why it's different. Much larger leaf. Kind of reminds you a little bit more of something like Japanese princess for the leaf shape and size, but has that mikawa-like density to it. So really a fun one.
Yeah, bad tattoo is really like Kiyohime. And Kiyohime is a beautiful tree, but if you're looking for tattoo,
you're getting the wrong one.
You're getting the wrong one.
They spelled it wrong on your back. You got the wrong name on your tattoo. In
fact, I think I spelled it wrong here on this list here. I didn't put the third T in there.
You spelled your tattoo wrong.
I did. Good thing I don't have a tattoo.
No regrets.
Now, tattoo is one of those trees that was made popular by Red Maple Nurseries. Billy Schwartz had a really big one at Green Mansion Nurseries, one of the apprentices of Dick Wolf at Red Maple Nurseries. And we fell in love with it there. We saw one of the larger ones there. And then Rudy Dex had a beautiful one. We went to go visit him. He eventually gave that one to Ed Shin. Y'all, tattoo is just this amazing, slow-growing Japanese maple. Think mikawa yatsubusa, but more slow growing. It's named after that actor from Fantasy Island. I'm gonna get it wrong one time.
That's actually right.
I'm gonna get it wrong one time. I have to.
That's a little before our time. We've trolled people enough with it. We can say that we know what it is.
Yeah, from Fantasy Island, who would say something along the lines of "de plane," and point up in the sky. He was a little guy, and this is a little Japanese maple. It stays dense, compact, and it's going to be great for that container garden. It's fairly easy to grow. With all these trees we've been talking about, we say it's great for container, it's a slow-growing Japanese maple. Think also that also means it may not need as much water. Often Japanese maples are overwatered. One of the main reasons you could kill them. Tattoo, really beautiful, easy to grow selection. Durable like mikawa yatsubusa, but much slower grower.
I never got a tattoo, but if I did, I was going to get crop circles on my back. Just so I could be like, I have no idea how they got there. I woke up one morning, there were crop circles. I have no idea. Like, I didn't do that.
Guys, coming to number 53, we've got Acer japonicum Fairy Lights. Fairy Lights is a dwarf japonicum selection by Yamina Rare Plant Nursery in Australia. It was found by AJTs, and it's just this amazing, small, one of the slower growing japonicums that lights up in that fall time.
Absolutely next level. I mean, this one, perfect plant for the fairy garden. One of my favorite fall color Japanese maples. It just glows. I actually love it in the spring too because that small little weeping stature to it. Perfect for containers, but when it has that red tassel flower, it's just a perfect little fairy garden. There's one of the biggest ones in the U.S. at Buckholtz, and I just get out there and awe that thing ever fall. I mean, it is glowing red, yellow, orange. I mean, it is a translucent plant you can't miss in the landscape. Small stature to it. Kind of the perfect Acer japonicum for a small area landscape. And if you're looking for a tree that fits in a lot of places, Fairy Lights does that. Zones 5 through 9. So durable, so colorful. I mean, I think this really brings it for the small garden.
I think in our Cultivar highlight, you said this went full Hulkamania because it has the yellow, oranges, and reds all at the same time. And it reminds you of, the yellow and orange Hulk Hogan uniform from wrestling.
Tear your shirt off right now? All right.
R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. But an amazing small little dwarf japonicum, easy to grow. Guys, if you love japonicums like we do, this definitely has to be one of those holy grails.
Now, I think these last few here, getting down to 50 on this list, I think these even could have been higher. I think you wanted to go out with some drama on the first one. So next up at number 52, we got Moonrise, which is definitely a holy grail plant for a lot of people. Way more durable than Autumn Moon. Kind of a
more vigorous,
more of one of those plants that's a game changer in the whole industry. I mean, everybody loves Moonrise, apricots, yellows, all kinds of color changes. I've called this one, a lot of people are into red buds now. I've called this one the flamethrower of Acer shirasawanums. It gets those colors where you've got tons of color going on all in that one plant at the same time in the early spring. Introduced by our good friend Carl Munn, who was a real mentor to Tim and I. Moonrise has been around for a while, and it is a showstopper still. It's still one of those holy grail plants.
Yeah, I mean, it is beautiful. It's more intense colors than Autumn Moon, I would say. It's more heat tolerant, and it's more vigorous. So
it's the shirasawanum for the South.
It's the tree everybody wants, and it's a gold standard when it comes to shirasawanums, trying to compare everything else to. I'm a full moon fan, and Moonrise is by far one of my favorite full moon Japanese maples.
Don't go half moon, go full moon.
Exactly.
Some people want to go half. I say go full.
It's a beautiful tree out there in the landscape, and when anybody sees it, they have to have it. My wife's aunts came and helped out at open house, and they started seeing everybody leaving with moonrises.
You were going to pay them, and they were like, "No, just give me one of those."
They said, "No, just give me a moonrise."
In lieu of payment, let me get this one tree. I remember because they came over to me first. They were like, "I know y'all are going to give me a check, but can I just get this tree instead?"
Yeah. So I mean, when people see moonrise, it's just got this reaction. It's got that lime green to yellow green older growth with that flamethrower like growth on above it. It's a winner all the way around. And guys, we went from 75 and we're going to be ending today on 51 on the next one. Acer palmatum Pink Princess.
Hey, another one by Carl Munn. Again, another one I think could be higher up on the list, but this one is a good one. This one is a unicorn amongst all plants. Like, we were at a plant conference. I know I say this every time we talk about it, but we were at a plant conference one time, and I think it was IPPS, and there were a lot of different people with a lot of different interests, and people were asking if anybody could name a tree that was a broom and a sport. Because a lot of
broom and variegated.
Broom and variegated. So it's got that sporting variegation. It's got variegation to it plus the broom characteristic. So variegated and a broom. And a lot of people, a lot of smart plant people in the room, and they weren't coming up with a lot of plants. I was like, well, I've got one. It isn't out yet. I'll show you a picture of it. It's called Pink Princess. This is a broom off of Beni Shishihinga. Carl found it, allowed us to name it. I named this one for my first daughter, Carolina. She was being born around that time 8 years ago. And really cool plant. Really unique in the trade because it is a dwarf compact version of a variegated plant. You don't see that a lot. I mean, there's a few out there. I thought of some other examples. Tim and I, being plant nerds, came up with Peve Maribo of the ginkgos,
Sherman's Nordlicht.
and Sherman's Nordlicht. So we had a list going, but this is one of the very few woody ornamentals that is a dwarf variegated broom. So pretty unique there amongst all of them. And I find that this one holds its color better than Beni Shishihinga. It's a less reverting form as well.
And Beni Shishihinga is my mother's favorite tree. It's actually on the dot for MrMaple.com. The leaf for the dot is Beni Shishihinga. And Pink Princess was found as a broom on that. It's a pink tree that everybody loves out there because it gives you a pink color in the spring. And this gives you a dense form that's a dwarf for anybody's garden, so they can enjoy that similar habit. But like Matt was mentioning, it is less prone to reversion than Beni Shishihinga. And I'd say that's probably Beni Shishihinga's biggest downfall is that reversion. Pink Princess gives you a smaller stature and no reversions, which
typically
is
more
beautiful.
of a 5x5 globe and very dense and full. Great container plant. Don't let it fool you. It'll be a little vigorous at first, kind of like Seho. A lot of those dwarfs will kind of get out there and put out a big shoot when they're in 1 gallons, but they slow down and they round out. So this one's not going to get big. It's going to be dense and full.
Well, guys, that was our 75 through 51. Tune in next week for number 50 all the way through number 26 on our Holy Grail Japanese maples.
Yeah, if you hadn't already, make sure to subscribe here to our podcast. Go give us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. We're on a lot of things, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music. Go find us on some of those. Give us a good review. That helps other people find it. If you know gardeners and other maple people who are into this kind of content, share it with them. We put out maple content for free 7 days a week. That's all free. So we'd love to get that out there to more people. We're very niche, so sharing it with other gardeners who are into maples is the best way for people to find our podcast.
And if you're just now tuning into our podcast, check out some of our older podcasts. We recently realized that some of them had came off our podcast platform, so we pressed the button and made them pop back on there. You can go back and check out our podcast. We put out one every single week on your favorite podcast platform.
3 years now.
Yeah, so we've got a large selection of really cool topics for you to go listen to.
There's always new people getting into maples, and there's a lot of good information in those. You know, if you're new to maples, go back and search through those podcasts. There's an answer to a lot of your questions there. If you're looking for information, we're giving it to you for free. We're putting it out there. Go back through some of those archives. I think there's a lot of good, useful information that'll give you more success. Learn more about different trees, but also give you more success with gardening.
Y'all, thanks for listening. Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.